So, Detective Alicia Stone, a 13-year NYPD veteran assigned to the Internal Affairs Bureau, died at the Fundacion Valle del Lili hospital in Cali, Colombia, shortly after she was found unresponsive in her hotel room. Why? Another BBL gone wrong.
Fairly dangerous. It turns out it's the most dangerous, not only plastic surgery procedure, it's the most dangerous operation there is with the highest fatality rate. And I'll tell you why. You take fat from one part of your body, typically the abdomen, you process it, and you inject in the buttocks. Sounds easy, right? The problem is there's these very small little veins in the buttock that lead directly to the vena cava, which is the major blood vessel that brings blood back from your body to your heart, to your lungs. If you get fat in those little vessels and it gets in the main vena cava and goes to your lungs, it's over. It's the most fatal operation there is. And I would advise there are other ways to get a full.
Y'all, can we just talk about how these BBL cases are getting out of hand? Like seriously, every other week we're hearing about someone flying out to Colombia or somewhere else around the world for a quick snatch and it ends in tragedy. This time it's Detective Alicia Stone, a 13-year NYPD veteran, a cop, y'all, found unresponsive in her hotel room in Cali. Apparently, as part of her post-operative care, she was taking anticoagulants and pain medication and had been moved to a hotel to recover after the surgery. Then, she was found unresponsive in a hotel room in Colombia and was rushed to Fundacion Valle del Lili hospital, where she was pronounced dead just over an hour later, and her cause of death was recorded as unspecified cardiac arrest. Sad, right? OMG! Well, the person who was called after the detective died was her husband, Michael, and based on what he said, the way the news was passed was very suspicious. First of all, Michael was shocked to learn his wife was in a hotel rather than a recovery facility so soon after the procedure. Guess what, Mickey? Apparently it's protocol for people to leave the clinic within 45 minutes to 1 hour in most clinics in many of the facilities which offer BBL, which is insane given how dangerous the procedure is. Secondly, a doctor may have a patient stay nearby for a day in order to monitor their recovery and have them close by for their follow-up appointment. This can also mean a nurse routinely checks in on them to ensure everything is okay. In addition, some people also choose to recover in the privacy of a hotel room, with a nurse who will monitor and assist them rather than going to a recovery home. Honey, this just didn't make any sense to Michael, and he said he wanted the authorities to look into it. And it doesn't make sense to me as well, because post-surgical risks seem to be a hotspot with these surgeries, but there doesn't seem to be any push to upgrade standards for aftercare monitoring. Anywho, based on what Michael said, the doctor who performed the procedure only gave him bare-bones information when she called him shortly after 11 a.m. to notify him about his wife's death. He said, "The doctor who called me from Colombia just called me and told me my wife had just passed away. She didn't have any information to tell me when I was asking her. Something just doesn't add up. To be called Thursday and told that she passed away, that is just shocking and hurtful. I don't have the facts, and that's what I need, the facts of what happened. She was the mother of 3 kids. She was a perfectionist. She strived for the highest degree of work, and in a short space of time, she moved from being a police officer to internal affairs to a second-degree detective. I want her to be remembered as an officer who was loved by her peers and greatly, greatly loved by her family, and we miss her so much. I will request an autopsy when she returns. I need to know. I need some independence." Michael also said his wife seemed perfectly fine before the procedure and had even told family members the day before her death that she was feeling well. He also disclosed that following Alicia Stone's death, authorities contacted the Colombian National Police, the U.S. State Department, and a consular services official. Her husband also claimed that an NYPD detective had been dispatched to Colombia to investigate the circumstances surrounding her death. A fundraiser for Alicia Stone also described her as a devoted wife, loving mother of 3, and a dedicated public servant who spent her career protecting and serving others. The Fund the First page added, "Alicia's kindness, courage, and compassion touched everyone she met, both in and out of uniform. Her unexpected passing has left a tremendous void in the lives of her family, friends, and fellow officers. She leaves behind her husband and 3 beautiful children who now face an unimaginable loss. This campaign has been created to honor Alicia's legacy and to provide financial support to her family during this devastating time." I mean, it really is heartbreaking when you think about Detective Alicia Stone Stone's story. Like, come on, this was a 13-year NYPD veteran, a woman who spent her life serving and protecting others, only to lose her own life in such a tragic, avoidable way. This has left Michael Stone, her husband, to face the reality that he has to raise their 3 children without his partner by his side. And what's even more painful is how common this story has become, and we're starting to see more and more headlines of women, even professionals like Alicia, dying in pursuit of these cosmetic dreams. Well, a lot of people have said that this incident reminds them of what happened to Ms. Jackie O, who also died shortly after going through a mommy makeover in Miami.
I want to get my breasts done. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody told me, no, you're fine how you are. You're perfect. Leave me alone. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. 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 Anyway, everybody told me that, but it's my body. Guess what? My body. So I was like, no, I want to do it.
So, after being found unresponsive, Jackie O was transported by the Miami Fire Department to Mercy Hospital, where life-saving efforts were performed, but unfortunately, she was pronounced deceased at the hospital. And as for where the incident actually took place, a report from the Miami Police Department listed the address of the Homewood Suites by Hilton Miami Downtown / Brickell as the location of the incident. Initially, her cause of death was not revealed, but according to various sources, it was very clear that Jackie O died from complications from plastic surgery. According to a now-deleted post, Jackie O had traveled to get mommy makeover surgery, and she even captioned the post, "Getting ready for my mommy makeover with Dr. Zach. Stay tuned to my YouTube channel for the full reveal." And it's not just Jackie O who has made headlines in the recent past, by the way. There was also the case of Wildelis Rosa, the New Orleans cop who just wanted a birthday glow-up, so she flew out to Miami, hoping to come back with that snatched waist, big booty combo. A little self-love moment, right? Except it went terribly wrong. She had a BBL that involved fat taken from 12 areas of her body and injected into her butt. They say she was discharged just an hour later, even though she was in serious pain. A few days later, she collapsed and never made it. Turns out it was a pulmonary embolism, a fat clot that went straight to her lungs. Then there's Gia Romualdo Rodriguez, a mom from New York who thought she was in good hands when she went down to Miami for her BBL. Sis did her research, saw all those glossy before and after pics online, and thought, why not? But mid-procedure, things went left. Reports say fat was accidentally injected into her bloodstream, a fat embolism, same deadly complication, and she died right there on the table. The scary part? Gia wasn't the first and definitely not the last at that same clinic. By that time, Florida had already seen dozens of similar deaths from the same procedure. These are just a few examples, because these cases have been on the rise, y'all. See, a 2017 report in the Aesthetic Surgery Journal found that butt enhancements are 10 to 20 times more dangerous than other kinds of cosmetic surgery performed in U.S. hospitals and clinics. Worldwide, about 1 of every 3,448 butt enhancement patients die because of the surgery, far higher than the overall U.S. death rate from cosmetic surgery, which is about 1 in 55,000, but still a big risk. At the end of the day, Alicia's case is not just another BBL story. This is a woman who had a career, a family, a whole future gone. And for what? A surgery that's being marketed as safe and routine, but is literally one of the most dangerous cosmetic procedures out there. Alicia's death isn't just sad. It's a reminder that beauty shouldn't cost you your life. Well, we also have people saying that the time for research was before the surgery, not now. And with her husband asking so many questions, people are saying that they needed to investigate the risks together before she signed up to undergo a dangerous, optional procedure in a foreign country alone, without family there to advocate for her and watch over her. Others are also like, 3 kids, good city job, and a husband. Sounds like the American dream. She had it all, so where did this dissatisfaction and unhappiness with herself come from? Is the husband telling us the whole story? Baby, there's an entire debate going on courtesy of this case. But you let me know what you think in the comments section down below.